All ready?
All right.
Thank you. Good evening and Happy New Year. I'd like to call to order the Monday, January 13th, Maplewood City Council meeting. This is our first meeting of 2025, and we are going to start with an oath of office. City Clerk Sint, this is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. So if I could have Councilmember Villavicencio and Councilmember Cave come down for the swearing in, that would be great. We ready? Okay. One at a time. Yeah, one at a time. Yeah, no, you're good. I would say, well, I think you should do it one at a time. I think you deserve to do it one at a time. Yeah.
If there's anyone in the audience who wants to take a picture, please don't be shy. This only happens once every 4 years, so we get the best photo you can.
I, Rebecca Cave, do solemnly swear
I, Rebecca Cave, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Minnesota,
and of the state of Minnesota,
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of council member in the city of Maplewood,
of council member in the city of Maplewood,
in the county of Ramsey,
in the county of Ramsey,
and the state of Minnesota,
in the state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Nancy.
All right, where are we? Is that good?
Yep.
All right. I, Nikki Villavicencio,
I, Nikki Villavicencio,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Minnesota,
and the state of Minnesota,
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of council member in the city of Maplewood,
of council member in the city of Maplewood,
in the county of Ramsey,
in the county of Ramsey,
and the state of Minnesota,
and the state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for
Can
using
I grab it, or do you
Yes,
need
yeah.
pictures with it? Okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Council Members Cave and Villavicencio. It's exciting, and actually, we get to do that every 2 years. Every 2 years, so it's really pretty exciting. I'm glad to see our council. We all know each other pretty well, and I think that there's some real value in that. I'm excited about what we're going to do this year in 2025, so congratulations. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season. I know I had a chance to celebrate with family and with friends. And I just wanted to share a little commentary about the city of Maplewood and really what a wonderful place it is. For a period of, I guess, 3 weeks, not only was I celebrating with family and friends, family members that came from out of town, it was really pretty exciting, but I also got to share with our Pentecostal church that is over here close to High V. It is a Pentecostal church that represents 6 to 7 different African countries. And I got to dance with them at a worship service, and it was really pretty fun. Pretty exciting. That was 1 week. Then I got to share in celebrating the Hmong New Year with the Yang clan, and there is a tradition in terms of taking a hard-boiled egg, and I also got to play the ball toss game with, let's see, Senator Zhang and Representative Fisher, and we were all up with a whole group of people, and we were tossing balls back and forth. That was really pretty fun. And then I also got to celebrate this last weekend with our Karen community celebrating the new year. And one of the things that one of their traditions is sticky rice in leaves, and also taking sugarcane as symbols of a fresh new year. So, you know, in looking at that and sharing that with you, we have such a wonderful, diverse community, and it was my honor to celebrate with so many people in our community. So I hope council members and staff that are here and our residents that are here and family that are here, that you also had a holiday season that was at least as wonderful as mine, because I got to share it with the community, and that was really very special. So with that, we are now going to start our official meeting with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk Sint, would you do the roll call for us?
Councilmember Cave.
Here.
Councilmember Juniman.
Here.
Councilmember Lee.
Present.
Councilmember Villavicencio.
Here.
Mayor Abrams.
I'm here as well, thank you. Would someone like to make a motion to approve our agenda?
So moved?
Second. Moved by Cave, seconded by Juniman, the motion to approve our agenda. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Moving on to approval of minutes. The December 9th City Council meeting minutes. Would someone like to make a motion?
So move.
Second. Moved by Lee, seconded by Juniman, the motion to approve the December 9th, 2024 City Council meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Moving on, administrative presentations. We have, this is yours, Mr. Sable.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and council members. Just wanted to forecast, so I appreciate the action that the EDA took just a few moments ago. So we can plan on the February 10th EDA having an economic development workshop strategy. I will note that the time for that will be at 5 p.m., just so we do need that full 2 hours to start that phase one for that component. And so also wanted to forecast out that we are, as you know, that the YMCA operates the community center, and so we want to, and we know that our lease with them expires within 2 years from, so at the end of 2026. But as you know, these are complicated agreements, and we want to make sure that we have enough lead time. So realistically, we have about 14 to 18 months to actually kind of finalize a future state for the community center. So we want to start that conversation in advance. And so this is, if you recall from last year, this will be probably the first of many conversations that we have about the community center. And so we want to start that early and often. And then also on March 10th, we'll follow up with a economic development strategy work session that will also begin at 5 p.m. A few things that I want to put on the forecast is we do know that the police department is engaged in a staffing study. The results of that will likely be either in March or early part of April, so we will have that. And those are sort of big conversations. And the staff, I just also want to note that last year, the 4th of July event was canceled due to rain and weather events, and we moved that into the September timeframe. And Assistant City Manager Darrow has pulled together a team to talk about what would a potential fall event look like permanently, and that conversation actually begins on Wednesday at the staff level. And so we will also be bringing that forward very quickly in the early part of 2025. There's a lot of exciting things. The Karen Community New Year has a celebration this Friday, and Mike Mondor, Chief Mondor, and Mike Darrow are going to be there representing the city at that. So I appreciate the work that they're doing. There's a lot that's going on in the community and in the city, and so we are eager to get started. And this is the first meeting of the year. We've got 22 more to go, and we're excited for what that means for us. And so, as a staff, I can just say that we really appreciate the support shown by the council last year's budget, and we are eager to get running. So that I'll stop and ask if there's any questions.
Great. Council members, are there any questions for Mr. Sable? Okay, don't see any. We have no council presentations tonight. Moving on to the 2025 City Council appointments to boards, commissions, and miscellaneous groups. I know Councilmember Villavicencio, you wanted to make a change.
Yes. I just had a simple proposal to switch with Councilmember Lee from the Heritage Preservation Commission and the Communications, Maplewood Communications.
Great. Council members, is there anyone else who would like to talk about any other changes to their assignments? I should say appointments, I guess. Council members, Mr. Sable.
Thank you, Mayor. I believe that the heading home Ramsey was not listed on there, and Councilmember Villavicencio is already the appointee. And so as staff level, we would just continue that appointment if that's acceptable.
You, Councilmember Villavicencio,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, we'll add that. Anyone else? Okay, then would someone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve the 2025 City Council appointments to boards, commissions, and miscellaneous groups.
Second.
Moved by Lee, seconded by Cave, the motion to approve the 2025 City Council appointments to boards, commissions, and miscellaneous groups. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Resolution of appreciation for Calvary Church. Chief Beardeman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. You have before you a resolution of appreciation for Calvary Church. Calvary Church, throughout the last couple of years, has really shown continued generosity for the community of Maplewood, and this year is no exception. This year, they purchased 66 $50 Target gift cards. They then partner with Maplewood Public Safety, who is really in the best position to identify as those who are in need the most. Our public safety staff, police and fire, then hand out the gift cards to those they come across in the community that really need for them. So it is not technically a donation to Maplewood Public Safety, but we partner with them and work together to make sure that these are going to people in need in the community. We've already handed out probably half of them, and we've got some good stories to share with council as we go forward about how this is really helping the community, but they've been a great partner with us this entire time, so.
Wonderful, thank you. Is there anyone from Calvary? I don't see anyone from Calvary. Okay, Councilmember Lee?
Thank you, Mayor. Just on behalf of the MAC, the Multicultural Advisory Committee, just want to say thank you also. What a great donation and a great service that they're contributing to our community here. So thank you.
So I will read the resolution of appreciation, and then we'll get a motion for it. Whereas Calvary Church has been a generous partner to the City of Maplewood and the Public Safety Department, and whereas Calvary Church has freely given of their time and resources without compensation for the betterment of the citizens of the City of Maplewood, and whereas Calvary Church has shown dedication and commitment to active engagement as a community partner and has consistently contributed to efforts for the benefit of the city. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved for and on behalf of the City of Maplewood, Minnesota, and its citizens, that Calvary Church has hereby extended our gratitude and appreciation for their kindness and generosity. And then it's adopted by the City Council tonight. Would someone like to make a motion?
I motion to approve a resolution of appreciation for Calvary Church.
Second. Moved by Cave, seconded by Juniman, the motion to approve a resolution of appreciation for Calvary Church. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, we have a resolution accepting a donation from Schmelz, Countryside Volkswagen. Chief Beardeman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. This one is a donation. It's a resolution accepting a donation from Smells Countryside Volkswagen. Going back as far as I can remember, they've always been an amazing partner and have always given this donation. So this year, again, is no exception. They've given us $3,000 of donation to Maplewood Public Safety. We split that between police and fire, $1,500 each, and this goes this year to employee wellness and recognition.
Is there a motion to accept the donation?
I move to approve the resolution accepting the donation made by Schmelz Countryside Volkswagen.
Second?
Moved by Juniman, seconded by Lee, the resolution accepting the donation from Schmelz Countryside Volkswagen. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And next, we have another resolution tonight for Emma Broadnax, who served on our Environmental and Natural Resources Commission, who is going to be, is it Ben or Steve Love, or?
Yes, Mayor and Council. Ben, who is the commission chair for the Environmental Natural Resource Commission, was originally planning to present this. Unfortunately, he was unable to make the meeting due to a last-minute cancellation.
Okay.
I certainly can read the resolution if you would like. Otherwise,
Kathy volunteered, Councilmember Juniman volunteered to, what?
Emma's here too.
Oh,
Yep.
you're here. Do you want to come up to the dais, please? Hello.
Hi.
We have a resolution that, thanking you for your service. Councilmember Juniman would love to read it.
Okay, thank you.
I was drafted. I don't mind reading it, but I really was drafted. Whereas Emma Broadnax has been a member of the Maplewood Environmental and Natural Resources Commission for 3 years, serving from October 25th, 2021 to September 30th, 2024. Ms. Broadnax has served faithfully in those capacities. And whereas during her term on the Environmental and Natural Resources Commission, Ms. Broadnax helped guide city environmental ordinances and policies, including the Green Building Code, climate mitigation planning process, renewable energy ordinance, climate adaptation plan implementation strategies, Mississippi River Critical Area Ordinance, and whereas the Environmental and Natural Resources Commission and the City Council have appreciated her experience, insights, and good judgment, and whereas Ms. Broadnax has freely given up her time and energy without compensation for the betterment of the city of Maplewood, and whereas Ms. Broadnax has, has shown dedication to her duties and has consistently contributed her leadership and efforts for the benefit of the city. So now I ask, why is she not staying?
So maybe we won't get rid of it.
So maybe we won't finish this. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved for and on behalf of the city of Maplewood, Minnesota, and its citizens that Emma Broadnax is hereby extended our gratitude and appreciation for her dedicated service, adopted by the Maplewood City Council on this day, January 13th, 2025.
Council members, is there a motion?
I move the resolution of appreciation for Edna Broadnax, Environmental and Natural Resources Commission.
Second.
Moved by Juniman, seconded by Cave, the motion to approve the resolution of appreciation for Emma Broadnax, Environmental and Natural Resources Commission. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Did I sign it? Oh, okay. Emma, would you like to say something? I need to sign that still,
Yes.
now that we voted for it.
Thank you
Now you're off.
Thank you very much. Serving on the commission was a wonderful experience. I learned a lot, and I appreciate your support as well for the commission and for everything that we worked on. And I have nothing but great things to say about it. So thank you very much.
Wonderful. If you want to bring
Want
it
me
up
to
here,
bring it?
I'll be happy to sign it. Thank you. You will be missed. Thanks.
Yeah.
I can spy on her, she's my neighbor.
There you go. Thank you. Council members, we are now on to our consent agenda. We have 9 items, I believe, on our consent agenda. Would someone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve consent agenda item G1 through 9.
Second.
Moved by Lee, seconded by Juniman. Consent agenda items G1 through 9. Is there any further discussion?
Can we pull G5, please?
And do you have questions about it?
Yes.
Do you want to,
No, just a general question.
okay. I believe, Mr. Love, this is yours.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So Tonight, the item before you is for pond dredging. It's cleaning out the sediment that is accumulated in our ponds. We are partnering with Ramsey Washington Metro Watershed District. They're leading the project. Back on November 25th at our council meeting, you adopted a budget of $330,000. Fortunately for us, based off of the results of the coring testing, the sediment was fairly clean. And so we got great prices. So the estimated total cost is $138,000, with the final cost being based on the final quantities. And with that, I'm available for any questions.
Councilmember Villavicencio, did you have questions?
Yes, just a quick question, just kind of general for, I guess, everybody to be able to understand is, how do we determine where we dredge and like, how bad does it have to be, I guess?
Sure, Mayor and Council. So what we do is our staff provides the watershed district our top ponds that we feel that need to have sediment cleaned out of them. The watershed district then does a survey to determine where the sediment is, how much is in there. They also test it for contamination, because that'll also increase the cost of how you properly dispose of it. So they've been running this project, or these projects for the last, I'd say at least, I think 6 years or more. And they offer this as an opportunity for cities to take advantage of their expertise in running the projects, and then also the economy of scale by joining in with them as part of a bidding process. Yep.
Councilmember Juniman.
I'd like to highlight number 4, please.
Councilmember, I'm sorry.
Mr. Love.
Mr. Love, it's yours too.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So this item is Ramsey County is offering again their SCORE grant, which stands for their Select Committee on Recycling and the Environment. So essentially, this grant goes towards enhancing cities' recycling programs. We typically have used this funding to help reduce the costs of the residential recycling. As well as it can be used for administration, promotion of activities, new initiatives. As part of the application process, Ramsey County does require the City Council to authorize a submittal to the grant. So that's what this item is before you tonight, is authorizing that submittal. And that will be turned into the county, and then they would go through the award process, and that would be brought back to council.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's been a motion and a second and some discussion. All those in favor of consent agenda items G1 through 9 signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. We have no public hearings tonight. We do have some unfinished business. And Mr. Sable, this is your unfinished business.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. What you have before you is the 2025 legislative program. This is a continuation of a discussion that originated on November 25th, where we had a first of our draft, and then we also had a legislative breakfast with area legislators on December 10th of last year. As you know, the city is an arm of the state in many ways, and lots of things happen to the city by state action, and this is our opportunity to be proactive and aggressive in asking things from the state. So this is really an opportunity for us to say, here are the things that are priorities for the city of Maplewood, in the hopes that our area legislators would then advocate on behalf of the things that we would like to accomplish. This is, I think, primarily, this has gone through several iterations and drafts based on the collective feedback of not only this body, but also we do have a lobbyist that's been identified as a partner for this, and taking the advice and counsel of our lobbyists, and also then listening to our area legislators. So this really is trying to an accumulation or a collection of the things that we think are priority areas for the 2025 legislature. The first one being request of state bonding money for the East Metro Public Safety Training Facility. We are requesting $4.8 million for the design of the buildings, parking, stormwater management, and other enhancements for that site. As you know, the East Metro Public Safety Training Facility is used agencies around the East Metro with more than 600, they represent more than 600,000 people, so it really is a regional amenity. This is the first of several requests that we would have to upgrade that facility to serve as a joint training center for law enforcement that would also include integrated training with embedded social workers, fire EMS personnel, and public safety. So it really is a unique amenity. There are more than 25 agencies who currently use it, and we would expect with an expansion that number would only grow. And so what this attempts to do is to give our legislators some information and a tool to be successful. The state legislature did not pass a bonding bill last year, and so there is an appetite for potential inclusion, and the more clear that our message can be, the more likely we are to get to some outcomes. I also want to walk through some of the legislative priorities related to housing and economic development. The city has had a historic track record with tax increment financing districts. I believe there are a total of 19 districts, one of them being in the 3M area. And what we are proposing to do is to take any excess increment or excess dollars in that account to be able to be used in the northern part of the community. If you just by boundary, sort of anything north of Frost Avenue was the general boundary. And that money then could be used for redevelopment activities, particularly if you think about the north end. It could be used for strategic acquisition of parcels or other activities, studies, and those kinds of things that could further and spur economic development. We also know that last year the state legislature engaged in a lot of activity around housing in an effort to make housing more affordable and to streamline the process. And one of the things that they often left out was the city's perspective in that. And so we want to make sure that when the legislature talks about changes to the state law, that they actually take the city of Maplewood's opinions into consideration. As you all know, that the city of Maplewood does an incredible job with affordable housing in the region, and so our situation might be different than what you would have in greater Minnesota or other suburban communities. And we want to make sure that our voice is amplified, and we know that this is one way to do that, is to make sure that we write down what's important to us to share with legislators. And so the legislative session begins tomorrow on the 14th, and so they will be active. We also have, I'm not going to go through each item, but we talk about public safety. We've talked about state funding, fiscal disparities, and local government aid. We talk about transit and transportation, environment, also meeting flexibility. As we know, as post-COVID, the ability to meet remotely is simpler and easier, and so the more flexibility that we could have to potentially have non-elected city boards and commissions be able to meet remotely would be helpful. And then we've also noted that changes to the state law regarding adult use cannabis, we anticipate that will change several times between now and the end of the legislative session in May. We just want to make sure that we are a voice at the table of what smart regulation means, because I think we're well prepared to respond to anything. We just want to make sure that if there are going to be changes, that the impacts of which are at least thoughtfully considered. So I will say that the legislative session this year promises to be different than most others. We have it used to be tied, and then now it's not tied, but it's expected to be tied again in the House. And the Senate, there was a death of an area legislator from Minneapolis, and so now there is also a tie in the Senate. And so it's a very complicated legislative session. And the one thing you can count on is that you should expect it to change several times between now and then. And this document, I think, gives us appropriate flexibility to adapt to those changes. And I think this really does provide a sort of a clear sense for the city staff to when we are advocating for changes, that we have a playbook from which to work from. So with that, I'll respond to questions. And I also say that this is a document that is designed to be edited in real time. And so if there are suggestions for enhancements or improvements, I encourage you to make them.
Mr. Sable, let me ask you a question, and I know we have some other council members who have questions too. Will this be given to our legislators? Because I know we met with them and we talked with them about an earlier draft, So is that kind of the plan that you had?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and council members. Yeah, the intent is to have this printed in a slightly more attractive format, so maybe a little higher quality paper. But we want to get this into the hands of the legislators who represent Maplewood, but also legislators who are serving on key committees where our bills might be heard. So if we go to the bonding committee, we want to make sure that they know that the East Metro Public Safety Training Facility is a priority. So we'll also make those available to those legislators as well.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Cave, you were first, and then Councilmember Villavicencio.
I appreciate, just want to say, putting this together and making a document concise. It's all the stuff, we've talked about. And it's great to have it, and like you mentioned, that we can make changes to it if need be. But it is really great having here. The other thing I was going to say, I want to compliment that breakfast that we had. That was really informative for me, and having our, representatives here and being able to talk with them and having a clear understanding of what we're asking for and what they can provide. And it looked like there was a lot of clarity provided at that breakfast too, because they thought things went a different way than they actually do. Is there a way that, would it be good for us to have another breakfast before the session's over, halfway, or, something like that? Or do you just do it at the beginning and see what happens? I mean, is it worth us having another breakfast before May?
I can tell you that I do know that the Ramsey County League of Local Government is going to have a get-together with our legislators in February. I think it's February 13th, I'm not quite sure, like from 5 to 7. So we're already getting together with them, and it will be broader than just Maplewood. It will be all Ramsey County legislators. So are you thinking of something
Just
just with Maplewood?
Correct.
Mayor and council members, we're happy to do that. I think it's a useful tool for us to continue to have ongoing dialogue. I was going to pull it up on my phone. So the legislature operates on a very strict schedule, and so they have these important committee deadlines. And so what I will propose to do is identify the last committee deadline and make sure that we have our meeting before that.
Okay.
And I'll work with Ann Lincheski and Alex Hassel from LGN on what those dates are, and then we will get them on the calendar.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Councilmember Villavicencio.
My question is under the area of housing. I know since I've been on the council, we've had the issue with sober homes come up multiple times, and I think that's something that we will probably have to see again. And so I'm just wondering if that's something we could somehow highlight as an important issue that I feel that the legislature could take action under the areas of licensing especially. And and then kudos to Mike and the team to put this together. I really appreciate the specificness of it, but then also it's open enough to, we're not saying this bill, this bill, this bill. We're saying these are the areas that we prioritize. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. Sable.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Councilmember Villavicencio. We can certainly put together some language regarding sober homes and licensing. I think that you're right. We just made some ordinance amendments for our own procedures and process, so I think there's some sense that we can do that. I also want to make note, and I didn't include it in this packet because it was included in the November 25th packet. The League of Minnesota Cities and Metro Cities have their legislative programs that often align with the things that we're working on, and so if it's okay with the council, what I'll do is I'll go pull some language from both of those documents and maybe get that edited in here as an amendment for sober home licensing, just to make sure we're aligned with what other cities are proposing, at least considering.
Council members, what do we think about that? Because it takes, everyone agreed? Okay? All right. Well, we need a motion to approve this.
I move to adopt the 2025 legislative program.
Moved by Juniman, seconded by Cave, the motion to approve or adopt the 2025 legislative program. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And that is our last agenda item. And with that, I will say skål. And we are adjourned.
Fingers crossed.